Salam alaikum, this is video 2. So the pirates and, any criminal who had enough wealth could buy indulgences for forgiveness recognition from society, in society, among society, high society, if they paid for it, right? Okay, so if that's the same way it is today. We have corporations donating to the politicians, okay, and what they call a special interest, groups paying for politicians' campaign. Once they get in there, they expect their return, right? And so to be given to the corporation, and it's always at the expense of humanity and the the structure, because antimatter is natural too, right? But it's how it's used, as we said. So, but it doesn't belong loose in this world. Let's put it that way. Totally doesn't belong loose in this world, okay? That said, in the universe, antimatter is very, very rare. Very rare. You can't even find it, okay? But anyway, because every time it comes in, it's canceled out because it comes in a physical world, right? Okay, so it doesn't belong here in a loose form, okay, like loose atomic particles, right? Because it would destroy the world, right? The physical world, or not the physical world, but the world constructed of matter, right? Right. Okay. So the world of antimatter is constructed on indulgence and piracy. Okay. Okay. Because those consciousness go against the manner in which matter was to maintain its positive charge, right? Okay, so now the antimatter is charging everything it touches with negativity, with a negative charge. So it's removing, it's canceling out the positive charge with its negative presence, right? In an individual or whoever, right? Okay. So now, okay. So the culture of antimatter, okay? Now it's like the pirate culture that birthed it, right? With all its child trafficking, of other nations, like the many African nations, right? Whose children were trafficked in this American slave trade, right? Or human cargo into slavery, right? And land grabbing through all over the world, natural resource grabbing through all over the world, nation destruction all over the world, poisoning the environment all over the world, oppression all over the world, abuse all over the world, racism all over the world. This is a culture of antimatter culture, a culture that's structured upon the consciousness that manifests, antimatter, to create a world of antimatter, a new world order, that the old world will be destroyed, right? Okay. Or the natural world of matter will be destroyed, and then it'll be a world of antimatter. It will be just as physical. You can touch it. You can, see it. But, okay, it will be like eating, plutonium. Okay? Okay, if you eat it, or if you eat that food, or if you touch that food, or if you be around that food too long, it's like kryptonite to the human body. And the human body is like kryptonite to a person with antimatter consciousness or negative consciousness. Okay? They are distinctive. Okay. So those who want, that culture, that anti-culture, okay? It's the opposite of everything humanity is supposed to be. We're supposed to be loving. It's hateful, right? It's aggressive. It's violent. Okay, it wants to kill little children and their families because they're supposed to know about what their father, who's been, relied on as a terrorist, right? And as we said, he knows damn well that the Muslims are no terrorists. He knows who started 9/11, but he still wants to kill their families anyway. But yet he wants the world to feel very empathetic for, Trump Barron, and I do feel it's empathy for him, but not enough to change the internet. Okay, he needs Father Trump needs to care more about children in general, not just one or a couple, a handful, right? Where you want to kill their families, but whole world feel very compassionate for mine, and we got to protect this internet. We got to get everybody off this internet. We got to get the abuse off the net. No, what they're trying to do is because alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the internet is so effective in monitoring what this anti-cultural clan is doing, and I don't mean just the Ku Klux Klan. No, I'm talking about the fascists. Okay, because the Ku Klux Klan are belied to as well. They don't know what they're doing. Like they say, forgive them, Father. They don't know the energy that they're made of, right? Okay, they're simply identifying with the color of a person. That just goes to show you how much intelligence you're using when you're racist. You're identifying with the color of a person rather than their positive charge. Okay, as Martin Luther King would say, the content of their character. Okay, so you might be to ally with the anti-cultural, allying oneself with the structure of consciousness that produces antimatter or manifests an antimatter world, which is anti to their nature, is dumb. Just because somebody's black or somebody's white, identify with them, they could be identifying with the devil. Okay, because the devil is all antimatter bullshit. Okay, so you can't be doing that no more, right? Okay. So and that's the game they wanted to play. You could be identifying with the blue bloods. The blue bloods are all antimatter. Okay, that's why they drink that blood so they could stay. They need the iron in the blood so they can get that charge and convert transform their blood to enable them to stay in this environment, or else they'll transform into something you'd be surprised. Okay, they become that they look that alien form because they transform in this physical, in this environment of matter. Right now, so now. Okay, so they exploit this world. They exploit those who with the antimatter consciousness exploit the world that's made of matter. Okay, they want to destroy it, but they usurp all its resources in order to construct their world, their new world order, based upon the consciousness that structures antimatter. So them destroying this world don't mean a damn thing to them. Because they want to build a new one based upon one they can live in happily without you. Okay? So you better get your shit together, seriously. This is no joke. This is no time for play. This is no time, to stand on the fence and think whether or not you got time. No, you better not align with your humanity. If you're going to have any humanity. If you're going to have a world. If you're going to have a ground to sit on. Okay? Because just like the blue bloods cannot exist in the world of matter, the red bloods cannot exist in a world, designed by, let's say, blue balls. Okay. Or antimatter, a world of antimatter, right? Okay. Now, so they exploit this world, okay, and all those who exist within it. They exploit humanity by dividing them, to assist them in their wicked brother-fucking plan, right? Because those brother-fuckers got to align with because everything that is native for or indigenous for to keep humanity positive is just the opposite for them. So when in the natural world, it's natural for a man and woman, right? And I'm not talking about other homosexuals, no. because they're not the homosexual community. I'm not preaching for it though. I'm not advocating homosexuality, but I am saying this is not to target individuals who are of that orientation. But it is to say those who trying to make a world for all humanity to exist in. No, nobody. That's not natural for this world. For the natural world, it will destroy this natural world because it's unnatural for this world. Because everything that's natural for humanity is the opposite in the world of antimatter, right? It's the opposite. So if it functions opposite. It functions opposite. It's, for instance, if we're to love our brother in this natural world, to keep it positive, to antimatter, to destroy this world, he will tell you not to love your brother. It's natural not to harm, to go around just killing things. In the unnatural world, or the world of antimatter, it's natural for them to do that. It builds their world. See, but for us to do that, it destroys our world. So whatever we do that's unnatural, it enables their world to flourish. But whatever we do that's natural for our world decreases the energy of their world because it burns the energy, It eradicates that energy. It doesn't give it a chance to develop in that manner. Okay? So you have them hunting and things like that for fun, right? Shooting lions just for the celebration of it. But in the natural world of consciousness, okay, that manifests, matter, that's unnatural. That's that's not positive, right? That destroys, and when it's not positive, it destroys the natural environment, right? It destroys our world, our humanity, and everything, right? So anything that we do that's not positive, okay, that doesn't give off a positive charge in our environment, our natural world, it creates a negative charge for their world, and that's what they need. They need us to emit negative energy to enable their world to flourish, in order to enable their world of antimatter to flourish. But each time we release a negative charge, okay, and we do something, that's negative, the person does something negative, they don't say astaghfirullah azim or God forgive me, then that's like an ion, a negative charge. It's just released to do any, to go randomly anywhere, right? But usually it attaches to what? The negative. It goes to the negative, right? To create the negative, to manifest negativity. It manifests negativity. So anything that we do, humanity does, in the natural environment to give off a negative charge, it produces negative environment, right? And thereby increase in greater, giving causing the world of antimatter to increase, right? Okay. Now, so imagine if people let the wars grow, when there's war, all that antimatter that's being released, all that negative energy that's enabling a world of antimatter to inflate, okay, to grow. So that's like the shadow of ourselves, because antimatter reflects us. So if we do bad deeds, then the antimatter is going to be bad, and that's when it's used the wrong way. And that's why they want us to do it. That's why they want humanity to release negative energy in the environment, right? Okay. So they can harness it to continue to structure their world, okay, against ourselves, okay. Now, so as I said, so they manipulate and exploit so that their world can exist, okay, due to the very ill nature of the culture of antimatter. The two consciousness or cultures cannot coexist simultaneously in the single world, and we only have one world, and it's our world. It's not their world, it's our world. It's a natural world created for us. And Allah told us in the Quran how he created and how we're to live in it. He told us in the Injil, that's the one, the prophet of a virgin, the book that was, the holy book that was constructed, you know, based upon the prophet born of a virgin, life, teachings. Then we have the Torah, based upon the teachings of Prophet Moses. Okay? So, we were taught how, we were given insight, information how to live and keep our world positive, and how to stay positive, to give off positive charges to one another too, right? Okay. So we were told how to live in our natural world to sustain it, okay? Now, but the world of antimatter, the consciousness that produces antimatter, seeks to make us, to convert that energy, right? Okay. Now, so they cannot exist in a single world. Okay, so when thinking of antimatter, we can think of it as subconscious. Okay, we can also look at it as subconscious in our brain. Okay, when we're doing something subconsciously, we're not really aware of what we're doing, right? Okay, but they're thoughts. They're thoughts. Okay, they're thoughts. Okay, it's subconsciousness. Okay, but even subconscious thoughts manifest. Okay, they manifest in the world of antimatter. Okay, they manifest. Okay, one should recall CERN. Okay. Now, so at this point, we can recall CERN. Okay, we can think about CERN and its hadron collider, as we said. Now, what this collider is, and think about what this hadron collider is used for, right? Okay. Now. Okay, yeah, what it's used to produce? It's used to produce, as I said, antimatter. We can't absorb antimatter. Our natural world can't absorb antimatter without it destroying something. We can't just take a bite of antimatter. Take a bite of antimatter and the person walk away with their whole mouth missing. Okay, it's like a flesh-eating disease to the natural environment, or to our environment. Okay? Shoot a beam of antimatter at the ground, leave a hole in the ground. Shoot an antimatter at somebody's head, the head gonna be gone. But they want these particles into this world, into this dimension. Okay? So, got to think about what that is. And to open a black hole or a wormhole in the universe, what would they do? Shoot a beam of antimatter in the sky. It would annihilate a sphere of space, right? So those antimatter beings, spiritual beings, could enter our dimension, right? And all they gotta do is touch the person. You wouldn't be able to see them. You wouldn't be able to see them, right? They would touch the person, and delete or cancel out some of their positive energy. Okay? Now, they're antimatter beings here. Okay? They're beings made of antimatter. They're called spirits. Okay? They're spirits. Okay? Well, no, they're called blue bloods. They're called blue bloods. Okay? Now, because when they come in this environment, they have to change. They have to change in order to be here for a while. They can't be long, but unless they drink the blood and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay, I know it sounds mad, but hey, it's real. The world isn't as they demonstrated it to you to be, because they don't want you to know the truth, because if you knew the truth, first of all, it'd scare you, but then, you know, if you were told the truth all along, you could accept it. But now it's like they got to keep the game up, keep playing play hide and seek with the truth, so you won't know what you're made of, you won't know your power, you won't know how the world is structured, you don't know the energy you're giving off. They can constantly cheat you and steal your world and your resources and all this stuff. You won't even know how to replenish your life, right? Okay. Now, so the hadron collider is to bring more antimatter particles in, or antimatter beings in, right? Now, Okay, by opening up a black hole, right? To produce, and is used to produce antimatter, right? But as it stands right now, they cannot produce enough antimatter. They can't produce it. They don't know how to produce it. Okay? Now, so, and with their antimatter, they would make an antimatter. Okay, so we have antimatter culture. Okay, and we would have an antimatter culture whereby everybody's brain would be functioning on, you know, the structure of consciousness that produces antimatter particles, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Rather than and they would be contributing to the construction of the new world, right? The new world order, right? For matter, it's the new world order. It's a new world order for matter, not just a new world order for human beings and in the world they live in. It's all matter on a nuclear level, because that's where things change. Okay, on a atomic level, right? They want to change your nucleus. They want to change humanity at the nucleus. They want to change the world at the nucleus. And they don't even have microscopes that can see the atomic, the atom. So if they change in a person on a nuclear level, on the atomic level, then they really on the down low in more ways than one, right? Okay. Okay. So they're using a Hadron Collider, but they can't produce enough to enable them, or so they say. Only Allah knows. Now, so that the antimatter particles that they bring into this world, they would be able, as we said, to have absolute power over the physical over the world of matter. Okay. And then if they get that little device in the person's body, that little, the thing they call it? That chip, okay? Then they can constantly, mess with the person's, at the atomic level, right? By playing with their energy, right? Okay. Now, they can play with their consciousness too, right? Because the energy waves going through the brain messes with the consciousness. We already talked about that, right? And how it creates different personality disorders, right? Such as what? Schizophrenia, right? Okay. Now, so this would be able to have, they would be able to have absolute power over the world that matters, right? As we said, as it matters. Okay. Now, the prophetic consciousness that matters, right, would be it would be second nature, right? Now, okay. Now, but as it stands right now, okay, antimatter is at a disadvantage. The antimatter is at a disadvantage. That's why they want to hurry up and do these things while you're sleeping. Sleeping means unconscious. You don't know what's going on because they taught you. They taught you how to perceive the world. They taught you how to see the world. So you're looking at it through the way they want. They programmed you to see it. So they know you're waking up, meaning you're understanding things, you're comprehending things, you're putting pieces together, and pretty soon you're going to put this together too. And you're going to see that you've been under attack from back when in the garden, when that outcast spirit told Allah he was going to wait and trap humanity on every corner and corrupt them. And what he meant, he was going to corrupt them they can't see him, so he's going to corrupt them on the atomic level, where you can't even see. You don't even know you're under attack. You don't feel it. You don't know. Some days it's like, just don't think. Those thoughts that go by your mind, and those antimatter thoughts that go by your mind is opposite to your nature. Okay? Your atomic nature. Okay? Okay. So, now, so they want absolute control, but because they have limited power in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were to land, because they have to have a special equipment, just like when man went to the moon, right? He had special equipment, right? Same thing when they come in our environment. They have to have special equipment, special food, they can't eat our food. They can't drink our water. They can't eat our, they can't. Think about this. When they mated with the women, what happened to the women? They created giants, right? Okay. Because they're not nature to our environment. And the fact that there's been giants, skeletons that you've seen, that demonstrates to you right there that there's two consciousness that structure matter. Two structures of consciousness that manifest different types of matter. Okay? And we are going on one that's constructed by Allah, and that constructed the natural world and man's natural, body to live in that natural, I can't say natural, but constructed his body to live in a world of matter, right? And he constructed the other, to live in a world of antimatter, right? Okay, so but the female, she has antimatter too, right? We all have antimatter and matter because we have a spirit and we have a body. Okay, that's the two balls, right? Coming together to make the body for man. Okay? But that spirit is like that world of antimatter. Okay? The spirit of our body is like the world of antimatter, but it's a positive antimatter. It's not a negative. It's not, let's put it this way. It's antimatter used positively. Okay? Not antimatter used negatively. Okay, because we have the two, a spirit and a body, right? And our spirit, which is energy, has to stay charged positively, right? And we have to do things positively in this life, in this world, to stay positive. That's our consciousness has to stay positive, positively charged, atomically charged positively, and keep our world clean so it will be positively charged when we touch that physical matter that's manifested based upon energy that structures, positive energy that structures matter, right? Okay. So, okay, so, what was I at? Okay. So they're at a disadvantage in this positive world, okay? They're at a disadvantage. They can't eat the food, they can't do nothing, they can't touch nothing, they can't live here, they can't survive here. So poison the water, make this environment where they can live. Okay? Poison the water with radiation, pollute the air with all this chemicals, poison the food, make us fight one another, change our food, change the way we look at each other, we interact with one another, we're releasing all that negative energy, discharging ourselves, okay, discharging our positive energy. But if we love one another, we're going to discharge positive energy, and we're going to reciprocate. We're going to receive, be reciprocated by positive energy, right? Okay. Are we going to receive positive energy? We're going to receive karma. Is going to return to us, which is the reciprocation of energy, right? Karma is going to return to us positive, right? Because we put it out there, we emit it positive, it's going to come back to us positive. If we emit the negative, it's going to come back negative, right? Okay, and that adversely affects our positive energy. It discharges some of our positive energy, right? To the negative, but it's still our own, okay? It's the shadow of ourselves, right? Okay. Now, so the antimatter would be able to have absolute power over our world of matter, okay? As it was positively constructed, okay, to manifest matter, okay? So as we said, they have limited power. They can't do nothing here. So they want to reduce all that positive energy around there that's floating around, okay? They want to reduce that, okay? Got to get rid of that light, okay? So, they have limited power in our physical world of matter. Okay, it is most compatible, and they especially have problems with the consciousness or the energy that's most compatible, like the prophets, right? That's born like that energy that's born that we're supposed to receive, so that energy that we're supposed to, that we get from our creator, right? The creator of our natural world, the creator of our body, right? Who made us harmonious with this world. They hate those people. They hate them with a passion, okay? That's why they're trying to kill Muslims. That's why they want to get rid of the Quran. That's why pretty soon you'll see them well, I won't say pretty soon, but, if they were to be able to be successful in that, which Muslims call on Allah, and emit more positive energy in this world, okay? Do dawah, do dua, make salah, do whatever you got to do, make zik, to emit more positive energy in this world, this natural world. So that positive energy can go into the ground, it can go into the sky, it can go into the clouds, it can go into one another, it can go into your food, it can go into your buildings, your structures. You got to put more positive energy out there, okay? So they hate those kind of people. They hate them with a passion. They want to destroy them. That's why when the prophets came, many of those cultures tried to get rid of those people because they emitted too much positive energy. And it messed with, they call that juju, right? It messed with their antimatter juju, right? It caused it to shrink. It made them weaker. It messed with their consciousness where they got confused. They couldn't think. They feel they lost power. Right? It's the same way in this time. You got to put that positive energy out there. You got to stay charged. And if you're thinking, okay, well, I don't like Muslims, I don't like Islam, I don't like that. Well, they're going to come after you too, Christian. Because the same teacher, the same creator, the same Allah that told Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam how to stay positive is the same Allah that told the Prophet born of a virgin to do the same thing Prophet Muhammad told his ummah to do, to stay positive in this natural environment and keep this environment, that matter. He gave them the same consciousness, the same structure of consciousness that manifests matter in our environment. Muslims have that consciousness. Christians are to have that consciousness of the same, structure of consciousness that manifests matter and sustains this physical world and keeps their body charged. Jews are to have the same consciousness, the same structure of consciousness, that electrical structure, the atomic structure of consciousness that structures the structures that manifest matter in this world he lives in his natural world. So when you eliminate Muslims, you're only hurting yourself. When you eliminate Christians, you're hurting yourself. When you eliminate Jews, you're hurting yourself. Okay? Because their consciousness, aids in the maintaining of this world we live in on an atomic level. Okay? So, and those who are, racist, all that kind of stuff, and self-indulgence, that creates aids in manifesting, enabling, antimatter to increase. You're only hurting yourself. Because you're hurting the world. You're hurting everybody, but what you're hurting the most is yourself. Because after this world is taken back to Allah, and that's soon, you're going to be judged for how you utilize your energy, your power, on every level. Your body, which you release the energy through actions, your thoughts, what you ate to stay positive, what you looked at to either stay positive or negative, how you you know, loved or didn't love, how you shared or didn't share. Everything is going to be evaluated at how you utilize that energy. Okay? Yeah. Because that energy is your gift of life. Okay? That charge is your gift of life. Okay? So you're going to be evaluated. So nobody's going to get away with nothing. Okay? Now, so we said, okay. Oh, we're going to go to video 3. Slow.